I'm Doug Massi, and right off the bat, if you're in the need of final expense sales training, you should definitely smash down on the subscribe button and then ring that little bell looking thing that's next to the subscribe button so that you're notified each time we put out one of our new final expense sales training videos. When it comes to final expense leads, agents selling final expense life insurance are having to constantly adapt and change as final expense leads are getting harder and harder to generate. And they're getting more and more expensive too. In this video, we're going to talk about direct mail leads, telemarket leads, and Facebook leads. I'm going to address the cost of the leads, whether you should be generating them yourself or just buying them, where to buy them, and most important, the easiest way for you to have fresh, brand spanking new leads every single week without having to buy someone else's recycled leads. Coming up right after this. Final expense direct mail leads are getting harder and harder, more and more difficult to generate, and they're also getting more and more expensive. 5 years ago, we were getting high quality direct mail leads for under $30 each. Now, we're paying almost $40 a pop for a lead that's not even as strong as those older ones were. The thing is, the closing rate on direct mail is still higher than any other type of lead. However, the Facebook lead only closes about 2 to 3% less, and final expense Facebook leads cost around half the price as the direct mail. With all this being said, even though direct mail leads are a lot more expensive, there are a few reasons why you should be on direct mail leads over the Facebook leads. But before I get into all that, I'm going to ask that you give this video a thumbs up so that we know that you're watching. And if you decide later that you really disagree with what I'm going to talk about in this video, then you can go ahead and give me a thumbs down then. If you need a good appointment setting script, stick around till the end of this video. And what I'll do is simply show you how to get a copy of the same exact appointment setting script that all the top producers on our sales team use. Not only that, dude, but I would love to hear from all you guys on working different types of final expense leads, so please leave your comments below. Facebook leads are the perfect bridge to direct mail because of the cost. The agents on our sales team are able to get 20 to 30 fresh Facebook leads every single week and are only paying around $16 per lead. FYI, if you need leads, you do not have to be on our sales team to purchase them. Just don't expect to get them at the same killer costs that agents on our sales team get them for. The typical lead vendor is selling final expense Facebook leads for around $20 to as much as $28 each. But if you're a talented marketer, you can actually generate these type of leads for yourself. Again, you have to be talented. Most agents that try to generate them on their own end up giving up after just a few short months of failure, as generating your own Facebook leads can take a long time to figure out, and it can end up costing a lot of money. Allow me to give you an example of my personal experience of generating final expense Facebook leads. Look guys, I'm no dummy. As a matter of fact, our website ranks in the top 5 of all final expense sales independent marketing organization websites. And our YouTube channel, Final Expense Trainer, the one you're watching right now, ranks in the top 3 of all final expense sales training channels on YouTube. If you don't believe me, just Google the words final expense sales or, final expense leads or selling final expense insurance, and you'll see our videos pop up. And once you get past ZipRecruiter and, Indeed, the recruiting websites and all the paid stuff, you'll see that United Final Expense Services is usually right there in the top 3 to 5 companies or websites. The reason that I'm pointing this out to you is because I don't pay a marketing team to do all this marketing ranking stuff and SEO stuff for us. I do all the search engine optimization myself. With Facebook, I generated my own leads for almost 2 years before I gave up and threw in the towel and ended up hiring our team of lead generating Facebook geniuses. You see, I just couldn't figure out how to generate Facebook leads at a cost-effective price without getting outside help. When it comes to direct mail leads versus Facebook leads, let me explain why you really need to get on a weekly fixed cost direct mail leads program in order to be a highly effective final expense agent. With Facebook leads, you pick a city or zip code to target, then the lead vendor sets a 25 to 50 mile radius around that zip code or city, and that's where most of your leads end up coming in. There's no income filter on Facebook leads, and the lead vendors usually end up targeting people 50 years old and up, so you're really limited to how to target the exact people that you want to get in front of. With a good direct mail lead program like the one that we have for our final expense sales team, we're able to actually target ages 55 to 79-year-olds, and we can actually target the household income of $50,000 per year and less, which is our typical final expense prospect. With final expense direct mail leads, the most important thing is that we can target zip codes individually. So just to be clear, with direct mail leads, we're able to target people between 55 and 79 years old at the income level that most of our target market exists at, along with specific zip codes where they live, so we can stay closer to home and target specific areas that we like to sell in. With Facebook leads, again, you're paying a lot less per lead. That's the big pro. But the con is that you can't target the specific people that you want to, and you're simply going to have to drive a little bit further away than you would with direct mail, as some leads will be much further away, especially if you're working and living in a rural area. Again, my suggestion is that you start with final expense Facebook leads, get the basics of selling final expense down, cut through part of your learning curve, make your stupid mistakes with the cheaper Facebook leads, save a few $1,000s, and get your butt on a good weekly fixed cost direct mail lead program as soon as possible so that you have direct mail leads every single week in the exact zip codes that you really like working in. And you're going to be able to figure that out. You'll be able to figure out which zip codes and which areas you do better in while you're working the Facebook leads. Let's talk about final expense telemarket leads, because if you know the right people, you can get these babies super cheap and the quality can be totally awesome. The problem with telemarket leads is that due to all the people on that do not call list, the data is really limited. Therefore, it's impossible to generate 20 or 30 legal leads every single week within driving range of your home. Let's say you live in, Orange County, Florida. Population 1.35 million people. That's a lot, right? By the time we filter out the right age, the right income, and make sure that they're not on the do not call list, we've got around 100,000 people to call, which is still okay, right? Not when you figure in that every final expense telemarketing company is already calling these exact same people every single week, sometimes daily. So by the time we've generated that 30 or 40 leads from the area, it's spent. You have to give it a rest. You can't just keep calling that same area. You're going to need to wait at least 2 to 3 months before you call that area again. Otherwise, what's going to happen is the quality of the leads will go to the crappers. What I do is simple. I use final expense telemarket leads in 2 different manners, 2 different ways. One, I like to use them when I'm traveling, or when I try to work a different area, I want to check out a new spot. And 2, I like to sprinkle them in with my direct mail and Facebook leads, and I do that every now and then. So I'm not constantly doing that. I'm not killing the same area with those tele-leads. So if I know I'm going to be running some direct mail leads or Facebook leads in, I don't know, that Orange County or Orlando area, for example, 2 or 3 months from now, what I'll do is I'll make sure to place an order of telemarketing leads a few weeks before going. Easy peasy. For a copy of the appointment setting script that I mentioned earlier in the video, just shoot me an email at doug@ufesonline.com. If you're interested in buying leads at cost, or if you need access to a good online training platform, which means joining our sales team, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will fall right into place. Now get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.